Just one second, I'm in a very intense trivia crack tournament. It's not a tournament, but there is a bet on this game. Well, I know nothing about American history, which is disgusting, but accurate, so whoopsie daisies. Good morning! Bear with me, this is my first cup of coffee, so I will get up in the middle of this video to leave and go make more. Welcome back to the Chronic Cafe. I was gonna say happy Tuesday, but I'm recording today on a Tuesday and I don't know if I can get it up on a Tuesday, so we'll just go with hi. How are you? Today's video is going to be a little bit different than my typical videos, and that's because it's not for you. This video is for your friends and family. It is 5 pieces of advice that I wish my friends and family understood better, or some of the things that they did right and some of the things that I wish that they did differently. And it's all about how to help somebody who has a chronic condition. These are things that I feel like are fundamentals. They're so important, and just something that I hope that you will agree is so helpful to people who live with chronic conditions. The first thing that I wrote down is the most obvious thing, and it is just to be there. I think people don't really realize how isolating living with a chronic condition can be. When I say be there, I mean be there consistently, but also be there physically, like be there for people. Show up at their house. Maybe don't show up at their house unannounced. Okay, maybe don't do that, but you get my point. Just be there. Make yourself accessible to people who are going through things. The second thing that I wrote down kind of goes along with being there, only it doesn't require you to actually physically be there, but this is to check in on them regularly. Like I said before, it's really isolating to have a chronic condition, especially when you are flaring. And I've had some people that were really good at this, and I've had some people who were really not good at this. And it's through no fault of their own. You know, everybody has their own life and has things going on in their own life. I went through a period of time when I was at my sickest where I really lost touch with a lot of my friends, and that was frustrating because I wasn't able to show up at the things that they were doing together, and so I kind of felt forgotten for a little while. And that just made dealing with everything like a whole lot worse, because I just felt like I was losing my health, that I was losing my friends, and I was losing my life, and it was really, really overwhelming. So my advice to friends and family who want to help someone who has a chronic condition is to check in on them consistently. And try to make them feel like you are thinking about them, even if they're not able to participate in all the things that you guys are doing without them. That's number 2. The third thing that I wrote down is something that is so important, and again, it kind of goes along with being there. But the third thing is to meet them on their level. And what I mean by that is to suggest things that they can do as well, that are within their limitations. So oftentimes when you're dealing with a chronic illness, that you have points of flaring and you have points where you're feeling kind of decent and okay. And during those points of flaring, it's really hard to do much of anything. And those are the times that I feel like are the most isolating. And those are the times that I really wish that people would just suggest coming over and watching a movie, or just coming over and having dinner at my house, or something that requires me to do the bare minimum. There was a time when I was first getting sick where I was very afraid of giving up my social life. And those were the times that I pushed myself way, way beyond my limitations. And as a result, I definitely ended up flaring more frequently. It wasn't until I decided to slow down and take time for myself that I started to flare less, and I started to be on the road to where I am now. But that meant giving up all those nights out with friends, going to dinner, all those fun things, and I really felt a sense of isolation. So my suggestion here is to try to suggest things that your friends can actually do. I just think that this is so important, and not a lot of people think to do this. And with social media nowadays, it's like I was always seeing what everyone else was doing, and it was so frustrating just knowing that I wasn't able to be there. My best friends were so phenomenal at this. They never really pushed me beyond my limits, and they always understood if I had to say no. They were just really great at being there and showing up for me when I really needed them. And that meant so much to me. I'll never, ever, ever not be grateful for that. It just goes to show you what kind of impact you can have on someone's life, especially when they're at a really low point. Number 4 is something that I think is just a cute idea to do for people who aren't feeling well, and that's just to send a care package. Whether you send it to their house or you show up with it, one or the other. This kind of reminds me of my 25th birthday when I had my first Rituxan treatment. My best friend Jess came over with a bunch of goodies for me. She bought me a bunch of stuff from Lush. She brought me some coloring books to pass the time. She just really put a lot of thought into the things that I like and just kind of showed up and was like, here are all these things for you. And I had just had my first Rituxan, so it was so nice just sit on my couch with her and open birthday presents that were so thoughtful and so sweet. Creating those kinds of moments are kind of key in showing your support for people with chronic conditions. Number 5 is the piece of advice that I wish I could tell everyone that I meet, and that is to save your advice. Please, please save your advice. Every single time I talked to somebody about what was going on, I had an overwhelming amount of people saying, oh, my brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts, cousins, monkeys, dogs, baby fix their lupus by doing yoga every morning. I understand that this is meant to be helpful. However, it's not. Because oftentimes when I brought up my illness or I talked about it with somebody that I cared about, I wasn't looking for advice. I was looking to vent, to be understood, to just explore what was going on and analyze it so that I could kind of try to make sense of it. When I say save your advice, what I really mean is when somebody starts talking about what's going on, the best thing that you can do for them is just listen and to help them try to make sense of what's going on without automatically saying, oh, well, you should do this, or oh, you should do this, because it puts a lot of responsibility on us. And it kind of like indirectly sends the message that like you're not trying enough to fix what's going on with you. And that's so frustrating when a lot of times we don't even understand what's going on with us, especially during like the diagnosis process. It's really, really frustrating. So this is my biggest piece of advice, and the one that is so important, I think, in building a good relationship and helping people that have a chronic condition, and it's just to listen. Alright guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope that you share this video with your friends and family. If you do, let me know. I hope it was helpful. If you have anything that you want to add, leave them in the comment section down below, and I will catch you next time. I gotta go make more coffee. This wasn't even nearly enough. Bye guys!